From balmy Malawi at 35 degrees, it's back to the UK and a chilly 10 degrees Scunthorpe. A huge amount of the RSPCA's expenditure goes on kennelling the dogs that are signed over to them. It's expensive, but often the only option when owners can no longer cope. Something Inspector Graham Petty knows only too well. Graham's been with the RSPCA for 23 years. He loves terriers, and he's got not one, not two, but 8 rescue dogs. Today, he's on his way to investigate a report of dogs being left outdoors.
I've made 2 unsuccessful attempts to catch anybody in previously. You can hear dogs at the premises, but I haven't been able to get a visual of them yet. So we just need to go and make sure that the dogs are okay, and also that the environment is clean, they've got shelter, fresh water, etc.
On arrival at the house, once again it looks like nobody's home. So Graham heads around the back to see if he can get a glimpse of the elusive dogs. RSPCA inspectors have no power of entry into private property, so with a little help from a wall, he soon discovers what he's looking for.
We've got two dogs, German Shepherd type, and a medium-sized cream-coloured crossbreed.
And one of them, at least, doesn't seem very happy to see him.
Without getting my hands on the dogs, it's difficult to tell how they are bodily.
But what he can see is that the garden is covered with dog mess. The dogs themselves may be a bit on the thin side, but Graham needs to get closer to be sure.
My view's obscured by sort of a small tree there, so what I want to do is try and get around the other side of the property, if possible, and just get to see the full picture.
So, with next door's permission, he heads round to try and see into the garden from the front. And for the first time, he gets a good look at their makeshift kennel.
It's looking pretty grim in there. It's worse from this angle than from the bottom of the garden there. There is shelter. It's filthy inside. There's old bits of wood which are just laid down on the base of the kennel, so it appears that they've got no comfortable resting area. It's certainly not clean.
Graham can tell that the dogs have been out here for quite a while.
Judging by the amount of mud, stroke, excrement on the window and the back door, the dogs have been out here long periods of time, if not 24/7. I mean, you can't even see through the glass. I think one day that was clear glass, but it's looking pretty obscure now.
Graham also spots that there's no food or water laid out for the dogs. It's all pointing to a sad case of neglect.
There's nothing at all. They've got no comfort. If these dogs are out here 24/7 in these sort of temperatures, or how they're going to be of an evening, there's no thought being given at all to the dog's comfort. They're going to be pretty bloody cold out here.
It's a situation Graham's seen all too often. So if you have dogs that have to live outside, here are the things to remember. The dog must have a large enough space allowing separate sleeping and activity areas. Each dog must be able to walk and wag their tail without touching the kennel sides. Temperatures should remain above 10 degrees and below 26. Dogs must not be tethered or chained except for very short periods, as it can lead to injuries and restricts normal behaviour.
Hello there. Hiya, Inspector Petty, RSPCA. Could you come round and have a word, please? Thanks.
Finally, the owner has shown her face.
Hiya. Inspector Petty, RSPCA. Can I just pop in a sec? I'm concerned that you've got 2 dogs, young dogs, that are active but very underweight, verging on the level of you being prosecuted.
The owner admits the dogs are simply too much for her to care for, and she decides that she wants to give them up for their own sake. So she signs them over to the custody of the RSPCA.
She's taken the choice to sign them over, give them a chance. They're both young dogs, very rehomable, good temperaments. I think from her point of view, she's made the right decision, and definitely from the dog's point of view, she's made the right decision. There's a good girl.
Both dogs will be put up for rehoming, and we'll catch up with little Boost the Terrier later in the show. Starting again, new life, new town. It's tough. We all know that. One of the things that impresses me about our four-legged friends is their ability to bounce back. It's said that a dog lives in the moment, and I reckon it's true. What do you think? Okay. Remember Boost, the angry terrier cross from Scunthorpe? Well, he's got a brand new home by the sea. He's moved to the bright lights of Brighton and has been renamed Dexter by new owner Gemma Potter.
We've had him about 6 weeks, which is still early days for a dog settling into a new home, especially when they've come from perhaps a background that wasn't very stable, or they've spent some time in kennels. It's such massive changes in a dog's life that it does take them a long time to settle in. So we're still very much in that phase where he's following me around constantly. He's always checking that I'm there. He's still very much finding his feet. But he's such a good boy. We've not had any real behavioural problems with him at all. He's really obedient, he's really affectionate. He's a joy to have around. We've really enjoyed him.
It's been quite a journey for Dexter in more ways than one. Rescued from Scunthorpe, but now living on the south coast.
Come on.
Gemma's actually an RSPCA inspector herself, but even her knowledge and experience didn't fully prepare her for some of the challenges she faced.
Get down. As you can see, Dexter's always hungry, basically. So he's quite food orientated, which has been great for training. Being an RSPCA inspector, I see dogs every day that are in desperate need of loving homes, and so it just would have felt wrong to buy a puppy or to buy a dog. So it was important that it was rescue and that we could give a dog that hadn't had the best start in life a good forever home.
From living among piles of poo in a shabby garden, Dexter's life has certainly taken a turn for the better.
He seems pretty happy, and we've got lots to look forward to.
If you think you can help a dog like Dexter find a new forever home, stick around until the end of the show for details.